Let's begin here. Donald Trump's return to the White House is expected to bring an end to the civil and criminal cases against him. Trump is due to be sentenced in his hush money case, but he also faces charges for allegedly plotting to overturn the 2020 election results. For more on this, we are joined by Voice of America's Carolyn Presutti. Across networks and, of course, some of the major newspapers, everyone seems to now be focused on this question: what happened to Trump's criminal and civil cases now that he has been re-elected?
Well, hello, Boyo. Yes, you are correct. Everyone is asking that question. What do you do when you have a sitting president? The Justice Department has had a policy in place for years that sitting presidents are never prosecuted. So they are winding down these cases. They are in meetings. They are figuring out what they do with these cases. As you mentioned, he is expected to get sentenced. We aren't expecting him to get sentenced to anything in that case. Also, his other two cases where he has charges against him regarding the January 6th uprising at the Capitol and also the classified documents case, we're expecting those to be shelved for now while he is sitting president. So, in other words, nothing will happen with these cases. They will be put on hold or dismissed. Now, as for those January 6th people who have already been charged, already in jail, already in prison, Donald Trump has said that he will consider pardoning them. So we are also assuming that once he gets into office, he will make a list of those who are pardoned for their activity in that January 6th uprising.
Any chance that his detractors may continue to make noises around that in spite of what the legal provisions might be?
Absolutely. They will cry foul and they will say, this is our justice system. The courts have already ruled, the judges have already ruled, and we need to go forward with it. But the fact of the matter is, this has never happened before in our country. And what do you do when you have the most powerful man in the country that was elected by the most amount of people? This is the first time in many, many years that we have had a president elected with the popular vote and the electoral vote. So the mandate has been set by the voters, by the Americans, and for the other side to say we need to change the policies that the Justice Department has had for years. We'll see what happens. Again, this divided nation, President-elect Trump talked about this on election night. We need to unify. We need to come together. He may continue saying that in regards to his cases as well. Now, there will be some mending of fences today, too. President Biden will be speaking to the nation in 2 hours. He will talk about the election. He will talk about the peaceful transition of power. So it will be interesting to hear what President Biden has to say as well. The only thing that we know from him since the election is that he has called President Trump and invited him to the White House to talk about that transition. And President-elect Trump has accepted his invitation.
But, can he really venture into serious or very serious matters? Isn't his job merely now to hand over to Donald Trump ahead of that inauguration on the 20th of January?
Yes, you're correct. President Biden won't, yes, he'll certainly be there for the transition. He has a duty to make sure that that is a peaceful transition and as smooth as it can go. Honestly, put yourself in their places. These are candidates, because President Biden ran against President-elect Trump before he stepped down, and then his position in the Democratic Party as a candidate was taken over by Vice President Kamala Harris. So imagine working with your rival who for months, you've been spiting each other, you've been accusing each other of various things, and now you must work together for the peaceful transition of power. The thing that motivates these two men now to move together is simply democracy. This is how our forefathers wanted it to be. When you move from one party to another in the White House governing the country, it has to be peaceful. It has to be a smooth transition. And I believe that these two men are very aware of that. And a peaceful transition is what the voters want.
And where does that put Kamala Harris, given that she remains a deputy president until, of course, power is formally handed over.
Right. I don't know if she will be present during that transition of power. I don't know if she will meet with President-elect Trump. That was not mentioned when the announcement was made that they will have a meeting together. We will have to see. And as for the timing of that, all we know is soon. It will take place soon. As for President-elect Trump, congratulatory days are over now. The celebration is over now, and they are buckling down and doing the transition. They are meeting every day now, trying to choose their cabinet, trying to choose the instrumental people to contribute to his government that they will be hiring. Donald Trump Jr. spoke today, and he said, I am going to help my father choose the correct people, and these will be people who put America first. That is their primary goal, and those are the types of people that they are looking to surround them with in this administration.
Of course, I mean, as you know, people have views, opinions, and very strong ones of Donald Trump. And I'm asking this perhaps with my tongue firmly in my cheek. Won't a Donald Trump just hand over the power? I'm not interested in whatever you have to say or advise me to do. I know exactly what I want to do, and that's why people elected me.
It truly is a mandate, though. If you look at the numbers, if you look at how the Senate is now the majority is Republican. So now you have Republicans at the top, at the White House, at the Senate. It looks like the House of Representatives may also go Republican, and you have a very conservative Supreme Court now. So the voters have spoken, and this is what they want in this country. They want a more conservative air, conservative rule in this country.
Let's leave it there for now. Thank you very much, Carolyn. Carolyn Presutti from Voice of America, of course, giving us a sense of how things are going there now that the dust is settling, and everyone is looking forward to how Joe Biden is going to hand over power to Donald Trump ahead, of course, of that inauguration of Donald Trump on the 20th of January.